Previously on Ronin's Rants.
Well, I'm depressed now. Let's look at something a little happier next week.
6 months later. A day may come when the strength of Kek the Ronin allows him to keep to a schedule with his videos. But it is not this day. Hey there, I'm Kek the Ronin. I got nothing to my name but a dark coat and a camera. You're probably wondering what's with the new place. Simple. As a Ronin, it's my lot to travel and wander, so from time to time, I'll be out of one place and into another. Unfortunately, traveling usually takes a lot of money, so I had to sell my old duster, and thus I have the Halloween costume that you see before you. Alright, with that out of the way, let's talk about My Little Pony. God, who could escape these when they were kids? Even if you weren't into them, the ads were everywhere. If some of you are too young or didn't watch enough TV to know what I'm talking about, My Little Pony was a franchise by the king of franchises, Hasbro, who also made Transformers. But while Transformers was marketed towards boys, My Little Pony was definitely meant for girls. Most of my information is secondhand, but from what I understand, it was incredibly cutesy with characters named Flitter Flutter, Twinkle Twirl, and Heartthrob, to give you an idea. Good God, Twinkle Twirl? Really? Come on, that's like calling me Floofy Chops. I mean, where's the dignity? On top of that, there was no sense of conflict in the show and just had the ponies being all pretty, giggly, and, well, girly. So, yeah, not exactly Susan B. Anthony's dream cartoon. And since no one can let a franchise die nowadays, it got a new show. Yeah, Hasbro stepped in to breathe new life into this cash pony and released it to the public. It's cutesy, it's saccharine, it's colorful, it's good? Yes! Of all the unexpected gems on TV, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic surprised everyone by improving the franchise as a whole. It gave us solid characters, actual storylines, and a really, really enjoyable experience, pulling in fans from outside the intended audience and making this the first really good show that I've reviewed. And I can already hear some of you saying, you like a girl show, you're not a real man. Yeah, well, here's me proving you wrong. Ow! 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 Yeah, still there. Let's saddle on up and ride right in. Oh, fuck! So this entire thing takes place in the magical land of Equestria.
Equestrian, by the by, that's the gayest word in the English language.
Uh-huh. It all starts with our main character, a unicorn named Twilight Sparkle, researching an old story of the Mayor and the Moon. Basically, there were two pony sisters in olden times. One rose the sun in the day and the other rose the moon at night. But as time went on, the moon pony got resentful because while the little ponies enjoyed the day, they weren't awake to appreciate the night. Well, that's just silly. There are plenty of activities you can do at night, like stargazing, or necking in the back of a car on the cliffside, or doing all your college essays that are due the next day. Her bitterness turned her into the powerful Nightmare Moon, forcing her sister to use the magical elements of harmony to banish her to the moon. Yeah, I never bought this part. I always thought it went something like this.
A bunch of baby ducks, send them to the moon. Crazy sister taking over, send them to the moon.
However, according to the legends, she is prophesied to break free and shroud Equestria in eternal night that very evening.
It's imperative that the princess is told right away. Important!
She writes to her mentor, the Princess Celestia, but the princess decides to send her down to a small town called Ponyville with 2 jobs: oversee the preparations for an upcoming festival, and make some friends.
The fate of Equestria does not rest on me making friends.
Wanna bet? No, seriously, throw down some money right now. I haven't eaten since High School Musical 3. So Twilight goes about town and meets the other main characters of the series. Get it? Main. Her experiences leave her a bit sore by the end of the day.
All the ponies in this town are crazy!
Come to Santa Cruz sometime. Your crowd will feel completely normal after that. But faster than you can say, holy crap, I actually care about rainbow-colored ponies, Nightmare Moon herself shows up, after trapping Celestia off-screen, and makes good on her prophecy, shrouding all of Equestria in eternal night. Twilight and the others read up on the elements of harmony and set out on a quest to find them. Along the way, the others showcase their own virtues under stress, and Twilight starts to see what good ponies they really are. And not a night too soon, because they soon find themselves face to face with the Queen of the Night herself. But it turns out that they're all living embodiments of the elements themselves, and while this doesn't give them full-fledged superpowers for the season, it does establish some of their important character traits. Anyway, they defeat Nightmare Moon, free Princess Celestia, and the day is saved thanks to the Powerpuff Fillies. But Twilight feels a little off.
Why so glum, my faithful student? Are you not happy that your quest is complete and you can return to your studies in Canterlot?
That's just it. Just when I learn how wonderful it is to have friends, I have to leave them.
Spike, take a note, please. I hereby decree that the unicorn Twilight Sparkle shall take on a new mission for Equestria. She must continue to study the magic of friendship. She must report to me her findings from her new home in Ponyville.
So that's the basic premise of the show. If it sounds like I glossed over the pilot, it's because I wanted to leave some surprises for the new viewers. I just felt the need to go over it because it establishes everything for the series and shows that this franchise is no longer a one-trick pony.
Oh god, please, no more pony puns.
Hey, if the show's gonna be shameless about it, then so am I. Despite the action-packed opening, the rest of the series takes a much slower, slice-of-life approach to the material. In each episode, the ponies go through a little daily life adventure, and at the end, Twilight writes to Princess Celestia about what she learned from it all. Which leads us to the first reason of why this show works over its predecessors. Conflict! Yes, folks, this show shows us that conflict doesn't always involve people beating the crap out of each other. In this case, it involves putting the ponies through numerous trials and tribulations that young boys and girls probably go through in everyday life, then presenting intelligent, well-thought-out solutions for people to draw inspiration from. It's kind of like Recess, but everyone eats hay. Now, the only downside is that sometimes it's very obvious what message they're going for. But knowing the moral doesn't mean you know how the episode is going to play out, and this show goes from point A to point B in some very creative and fun ways. Need an anti-racism message? Have the characters be afflicted by some zany effects as a plot point. How about not being afraid to show people your talents? Just throw in a delightfully hammy character and have a giant bear crash through Ponyville. Want to get across the importance of trusting your friends? Fuck man, I'm not spoiling that one. Watch it yourself. Now, if only some pony would watch the episode about playing fair.
Are you mad because I beat you at Scrabble?
No, I'm mad because you cheat at Scrabble.
Look, just because I got Equestria on 2 triple word score...
You're not allowed to use proper nouns!
What, you're saying the way you played was sportsmanlike?
By comparison. Another area where this show shines is its characters. While the previous My Little Ponies were full of overly giggly fillies that you couldn't tell apart except for their colors, each of the cast has a distinctive and surprisingly well done personality, and the viewers will find one in there that they can relate to. For me, it's Twilight. I don't know, something about her snarky attitude, natural sarcasm, nerdish nature, devotion to books, and natural eloquence seems to hit close to home. Now, why could that be?
Once a month, she comes into Ponyville. Ooh. Then she lurks by the stores. Oh my. And then she digs at the ground.
Good gracious!
Okay, I'm sorry.
In the second season, though, her character loses a bit of the snarky focus in favor of her neurotic tendencies, but they still produce some good episodes. Oh yeah, and if I don't mention it, some pony else will. Twilight's voiced by veteran vocal talent Tara Strong, whose other roles include, but are not limited to, Batgirl from the new Batman Adventures, Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls, Ben from Ben 10, Dill from Rugrats, Raven from Teen Titans, Omi from Shaolin Showdown, Riku from Final Fantasy X, Sharina Wicket from Detention, Shigor from Psychonauts, and Patty Putty from a short-lived Garbage Pail Kids show. Hey, I was a singing elephant in first grade, alright? We all had to start somewhere. There's also Spike, a baby dragon that works as Twilight's assistant at Opposable Thumbs. He serves as the token guy for the show, though he's voiced by a girl, so balance that out however you want. Either way, he's pretty solid too, being more than just a convenient love interest.
Come on, no pony's as magical as Oh, hey, Rarity, mustache!
Not that he's completely cold-blooded.
Oh!
Next on the roster is Applejack, an Earth pony who... Right, okay, I should probably get this out of the way. There are 3 types of ponies in this show. You've got Earth ponies, who are your run-of-the-mill equines, unicorns, who all have some form of magic or another, and Pegasi, who... well, derp. Anyway, Applejack. She's the working girl, honest to the point of being brutal about it, and is very much a no-bullshit type of mare.
Just next time, try and steer clear of Ponyville.
We certainly will, Applejack.
She's also the one that Hobbs is most likely to put the moves on.
Hey, what can I say?
How about nothing? Can you do that?
Oh, shucks.
Then you've got Rainbow Dash, the high-flying, rough-and-tumble Pegasus whose ambition is to join the all-star flying team, the Wonderbolts. A lot of people say she fits the tomboy role, but because the definition is so broad and as such I hate the term with a fiery passion, she comes off more like the ace of the group.
Hey, I could clear this sky in 10 seconds flat. Prove it. What'd I say? 10 seconds flat.
And before any pony asks, no, I don't think she's a lesbian, all wing boners aside. First off, it's an annoying stereotype that I would like to see die, and second, there's this clip.
Hey, do you want to hang out with us? Maybe you could show us how you did that incredible trick.
Sorry, boys. But I've got plans.
Somebody's tasting the rainbow tonight.
Yes, it's all true.
We're gonna take a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Alright, your ass is mine now, Gary. Ah, Lance, you cheating bastard. Oh, we are back to the show. Now, Rarity's a bit more archetypical, being obsessed with beauty and fashion that she is. But the show shakes it up by her being an actual fashion designer, so she's setting trends rather than following them. It really speaks to the writing when what should be the least liked character is actually fleshed out and sympathetic.
Ribbon! Where's the ribbon? I got it! Whoa! I'll just go and stand over there, where I'll be out of the way.
On top of being sympathetic, though, she's just delightful to watch.
I want to wallow in whatever it is that ponies are supposed to wallow in. And it's true. Just look at me. Of all the worst things that could happen, this is the worst thing.
You're good ham. Next is Fluttershy, who's also kind of archetypical, but still fun. Like her name suggests, she's shy around everyone, though she also acts as friend to all living things. Her job is to be the most adorable thing on screen at all times.
Louder. Yay. Louder. Yay. Louder! Yay. Too loud.
And then there's Pinkie Pie. How do I explain Pinkie Pie? On the surface, she's a fun-loving pony who's a great laugh and throws parties for everyone and every occasion in Ponyville. Beneath that, though, I think there's something else going on. I mean, she randomly teleports, pops out of random things, appears in 2 different places at once, appears in mirrors, sneezes confetti, generally breaks the laws of physics, looks at the audience sometimes. I don't think she's actually a pony. I think she's an otherworldly embodiment of chaos that acts as a harbinger of calamity. Yeah, I said it. Pinkie Pie's an old one. Just wait and see. One day Pinkie Pie will just be bouncing around like normal, and the next day, oh, the next day, Celestia help them all.
earth would you get such an idea?
What makes this show work as well as it does is the level of self-awareness. It knows what it is, a show about Technicolor ponies, and embraces it to the point of hilarity. This in turn lets them do a lot of world building for a franchise that until now has just been a what you see is what you get kind of thing. You know those marks on their flanks that they've always had? Those cutie marks, and yes, I'm getting used to the fact that such terms are in my vocabulary, are a form of puberty for them, appearing when they've found their special talents or desires. Mine is a writing quill stuck through a film reel. I'm sure you'd all love to see it, but you're gonna have to pay me a lot more to show my ass on camera. Hell, they even have their own little jargon, which I call hay speak.
Fillies and gentle colts.
Soup's on, every pony!
You little fool. Every pony with any pony will be there. What's he all saddle sore about?
Well, at least they've got some pretty stable humor. Then there's the fact that in Equestria, things work pretty strangely. You know how on Earth the planet's rotation is responsible for the sun rising and all that jazz? Well, that's not how it works there. Princess Celestia is personally responsible for the sun rising every day, the Pegasus ponies control the weather, and get this, all of the ponies are actually responsible for the changing of the seasons, having their own holiday where they literally clear away winter so that spring can come. Is this just the new pantheon? I know back in the day we believed that Thor threw lightning down at us, so are we just gonna say that ponies do everything? By all rights, this show shouldn't work. There are endings where every pony laughs, the ruler is a princess instead of a queen, and there are other staples of a bad show in here. But the show's biggest strength is its greatest accomplishment. It reinforces the relevance and importance of being nice. Yeah, all those lessons we learned from Sesame Street and all them aren't just for kids. Friendship is Magic reminds us exactly why these are important in your everyday life. And the fact that this is being put in a show for girls, who are normally force-fed materialistic and catty values, comes as the perfect breath of fresh air. Well, perfect is a strong word. This show is not without its flaws, like the weird logic of Equestria being another world, yet they have knowledge of Earth constellations like Orion and fashions like French haute couture. I wouldn't be surprised if one day they find Charlton Heston raging at the Statue of Liberty.
You maniac! You blew it up!
Well, duh.
There are some other issues, like some very controversial episodes, or the fact that Twilight just forgets she has magic in some situations. But the most noticeable goofs are in the animation from time to time. Yeah, this is made with an old version of Flash, but it's still pretty noticeable when something is in a completely different place than before, or when there are clones of a pony in a crowd. That doesn't count. And I'd be very remiss not to mention this pony with the crooked eyes from the first episode that the fans have christened Derpy Hooves. She was either just a goof or just the animators dicking around, but the fan base immediately latched onto her, making her one of the most popular background ponies in the series. She has dozens, if not hundreds, of fan art images that range from hilarious to downright heart-melting. In fact, because of the fan popularity, the animators have made the crooked eyes her standard appearance. She even got a speaking role once, but we'll come to that another time. Which brings us to another big strength of the show. Hasbro gets it. They understand that the internet is a powerful tool, so they're using it to spread the word of the show and even listen to their fans. While most companies take down episodes of their show from YouTube, Hasbro is being cool about it and letting the episodes stay up so that people who don't have their station can actually watch the show. The creator, Lauren Faust, who was a force behind the Powerpuff Girls and Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, talks to fans on both 4chan and DeviantArt. When was the last time you saw the head of a show do that? And since they realize who watches their show, they've actually come out with season DVDs, pulling in a lot more cash and making them 20 times smarter than Saban ever was. Yes, great. You've decided to release all of Power Rangers on DVD. Good for you. Now do Digimon, and all will be all hail Saban! Now before I wrap up, I should probably give my thoughts on Season 2. Well, it's good, but I feel like there's been a bit of a downward trend. Don't get me wrong, a lot of the episodes are still good, but it doesn't quite have the string of hits that Season 1 had. The show focuses a lot more on the other characters and does a lot of world building, even showing us how Ponyville and Equestria came to be. The finale, while a little flawed, is still an amazing wrap-up to the season. And to top it all off, the villain of the first episodes is friggin' Q. How awesome is that?
Looks like we might be due for a big old storm of chaos.
Swell.
And before I close out, some pony is probably going to want me to talk about how this show was passed over at the Emmys while Transformers Prime won like 6 awards one year, or how the next year this lost Best Song to the Penguins of Madagascar. Honestly, I don't care about Madagascar. It was a really obnoxious movie, and the Penguins were really the only tolerable part in it, so that's just a big whatever for me. As for the Transformers Prime thing, honestly, if that's what it takes for this franchise not to be made into a Michael Bay movie, then it's all worth it.
Come on. You know you want Megan Fox to play Fluttershy.
Roll the goddamn clips! There's a very cynical side of me that knows how this is going to end. The show will lose direction or the writing will slip, like all great shows at some point, and it'll be off the air. But the other 80% of me doesn't care because that's the point of this show, being a bright spot of hope in a world where cynicism has become the hip norm. Its punchy writing, great characters, and celebration of real, genuine friendship make this one of the great shows of the new century. And besides, when was the last time you saw a really good kids show that wasn't focused on fighting? Thumbs way up on this one.
For someone who values real friendship, you pick Odd Company.
Come here. Listen up and listen good. Even when you're the most obnoxious, freeloading asshole in the world, you're still my best friend, and I'm never going to stop cherishing that. Savvy?
Savvy. And for what it's worth, I feel the same about you, even when you are a complete tool. You know, we should go to Equestria sometime, show them that they don't have the monopoly on friendship. What do you think?
I think we are ill-equipped. I'm Keck the Ronin. I got nothing to my name but a dark coat and a tiger best buddy.
I'm Hobbs, and I know what the Phillies like.
Oh, God.
Yes! Revenge!
You know, that's not very pony-like.
While ago, if you would ask me what I watch in my spare time, no, I probably wouldn't tell you what was really on my mind. But lately I've been thinking of a reason I should hide. If I am in such a dimension it were painful when it feels so good inside. What can I mention? Fluttershy and a timid love named mine. How she can be herself near animals, so tries away from her own kind. What can I mention? Pinkie Pie and the way she kind of acts a bit like me sometimes. You see, I used to hate that I liked My Little Pony. Not anymore. And I'm proud to be a brony.
Can't hear you. Oh my gosh. You rock. Woohoo. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. Can you explode twice? It needs to be about 20% cooler. Are you?
I don't want to talk about it.
Many try to make me feel embarrassed. Their attempts have been in vain. Though they tell me I'm the one with problems, they're the ones who are insane. So for those who watch but won't admit it, well, you shouldn't be like that, cause you could be 20% cooler in 10 seconds fly. Why don't you mention Rainbow Dash and her acrobatic skill? How she will try often anything just to get a little thrill. Why don't you mention Applejack? Talk about her on a southern style power of will. See, you don't have to fake that you hate My Little Pony. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Shout it out.
Isn't this exciting? Are you excited? Because I'm excited. I've never been so excited. Well, except for the time that I saw you walking into town and I went... But I mean, really, who can top that?
I'm sitting with ice on my crotch right now. I really did hit myself in the balls. I suffer for my art.